Hey guys, well, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters videos, and today we're going to talk about the potential tickets, and I guess where to spend them, since I think there's a set that's expiring soon. I personally don't have them because I already spent them, but yeah, at least folks have been telling me that there's a set of potential tickets that are expiring soon, and they've been asking, which units to spend them on, so I guess let's go over them then. So ever since I think the third developer update or something, they've been giving us potential tickets from the story event rewards, which is great. And I think we've gotten like 3 sets or so so far. Ever since the developer update, and yeah, there's two that there's one set we got recently from the Rosa's Christmas thing, right? Rosa's party event. And that one's expiring in like 2 months and 10 days or so. And then there's another set that's expiring in like a month and 10 days. And then there's the first set, which is expiring in like 2 or 3 days. So yeah, let's go over those so folks know where to spend the ones that only have like 2 or 3 days left, which I know is probably a bad time since, it's probably better if I did them earlier, right? Since probably some folks already use them. But hey, you could use this as a reference for the next set maybe. But anyways, let's go into this. So as a general rule, I personally like to use potential tickets on strikers over supports. Just because you just get more benefits per stat in comparison to supports. Because like when you're doing it for supports, and you could totally do it for supports. There's nothing wrong with that. Supports do benefit from them, obviously, right? But supports are just getting they're just getting bulk and speed from it. From stat increases, since most supports don't really do much damage, with the exception of maybe Phoebe and Hilbert in some scenarios, right? So supports not really here to do damage, so their offensive stats are kind of wasted when you're using potential tickets in comparison to strike sync pairs, where all their stats except for I guess the one offensive stat they don't use, aside from Sceptile, which uses both offensive stats, and some other ones which I probably don't, really can pick up right now. But Sceptile's the main example of that. So, you increase their bulk, which helps them survive in co-op, right? Increase their speed, makes their move gauge regen faster, and those are the stuff that supports like as well. But they also have the damage increase, and in this game, unfortunately, at the moment, strikers are kind of still at the top of the pyramid, the power pyramid, just because of how co-op works, right? Unfortunately. So, yeah, again, I would suggest boosting strikers before supports. And I'm not saying like, not boost supports at all, and not just any random striker over support. Like, if you're choosing between, don't boost Karen over like Torchic or something, right? One of the best supports versus, I guess, one of the worst 5-star strikers. One of them. It's not the worst, but actually might be the worst. But anyways, that's for a whole other conversation. But yeah, it's not, we're not playing that rigid, right? But again, I said generally, strikers probably do have a bit of priority over supports. So let's go over the 5 stars first. So for the 5 stars, you have your big 2, which is Olivia and then Sceptile. In terms of which one is better, Olivia is still better. She's just used in more events. She's just better overall, right? Unfortunately for Sceptile, not unfortunately for Olivia, but again, Brendan's also a fantastic unit to use any potential tickets on. But Olivia at the moment, unfortunately, for Brendan, is the more superior unit to use it on, because she's just so powerful in comparison to like every other unit in the game. Except for maybe Brendan, because again, Brendan's really good as well. But it really depends on you. If you have Olivia, probably use it on Olivia. If you don't have Olivia but you have Brendan, then Brendan's a good place to use it on. If you don't have either, then I'm not sure why you started this game without rerolling for at least one of these. But again, if you don't have them, no problem. There are some other I guess 5-star units you could use them as well. If you're thinking of where to use the potential tickets that are expiring soon, and you don't have Olivia and Brandon, and you have to use it before it expires, there are some other options, I guess. Chris is an okay option. Caitlin's not a terrible option either. Let me see. Are there any 5 stars? I know I have like 2 5 stars that I haven't leveled up yet. Yeah. No. let's not use it on them. Those two aren't terrible options, I guess. And then when you move down the ladder a bit, then you got like Hilda, Alyssa, and not Karen. Blue, I guess. Even though Blue again is not the greatest, but you could use it on him as well. Blue you can actually use on a decent amount of events, so Blue is actually not a terrible option, I guess. But after that, like I don't even think using them on any of these are that great either, unless you just really don't have any good strikers. You could just, instead just use it on like Phoebe, right? A support, or Phoebe, maybe Christmas Rosa, maybe Hilbert, right? Unfortunately, the other ones aren't that great. Or regular Rosa, I guess. She's not terrible as well. As for Lyra, Karen, Grimsley, even Blue, Alyssa, Hilda, honestly wouldn't recommend using it on them, and these two are just fodder. They're really not much use. Glacia as well, which I don't have. She's not too great, unfortunately. She probably might be the worst 5 star. Anyways, moving on. So those are the 5 stars again. Olivia, Brendan, they're at the top. If you have either one of them, throw it on them, right? Depending on which one you have. If you got both, then Olivia. If you only got Brendan, then Brendan, right? Or you could use or you could just use it on Brendan if like you cleared all the events that you needed with Olivia, and you just need to clear some events that you need to clear with Brendan. Then you could go with Brendan as well, right? It's not like you have to go with Olivia if you have Olivia, right? So moving on to 4 star. 4 star is a bit more interesting. You got some more candidates that again, 5 stars is just basically Olivia or her Septa. Oh, also one more thing for those who are wondering when to use the tickets that expire in a month and the one that expires in 2 months. Do keep in mind that again, Lance and Cynthia are coming next month. Even though nothing's confirmed, they could be either absolute trash, which I highly doubt, or they could be even better than Olivia. So keep in mind for those that are expiring in a month and 2 months, I'd say probably the best bet to wait for Cynthia and Lance to drop and see how good they are before actually spending them. If they drop and they're not as good as Olivia, then fine, still spend on Olivia or whatever. If they drop and they're better than Olivia, well, then spend it on them. But again, for the ones that are expiring in a few days, do spend them for the Expire because they're free, and don't waste them. These are really, really good. Moving on. 4 stars. 4 stars, there are again, there's a few decent candidates. Infernape's a good one to use it on, just because, again, unfortunately, we don't have really great Fire Strikers. Looking at you, Hilda. I mean, I give Hilda a lot of crap. I mean, she's not terrible. She's really good in EX Erica. And that's about it. It's just that her whole kit is just built. I mean, her kit actually supports or covers her weaknesses fairly well, I guess, but it's still again extremely limited. But Infernape is a good option if you don't have Hilda or just don't want to use Hilda because of her unfortunate shortcomings. Will is another one. Will is probably the strongest standalone 4-star in a vacuum in the game. But do keep in mind, Will is extremely limited and niche. You could. It really depends on what courses you're going for, right? Especially Will has generally more use in single player than co-op, and in terms of co-op, you have to really find the exact co-op that you could use him in, that you could actually get the boosts in, the stat boosts and stuff. So Will, very, very limited, but extremely powerful in those scenarios, right? Another one, I guess, is Roserade. If you don't have a Sceptile, right, you could boost Roserade as a, I guess, decent substitute, except Roserade just dies much easier, I guess, unfortunately. And it's just overall just not as good. Let's see. Koga's not a terrible one if you just really want a Psychic, I guess, tech / striker, although even though it's tech, he does a lot of damage. If you really want a ghost type, either one of these are good, I guess. Really depends on your preference. What else? 4 stars. 4 stars. 4 stars. I guess you could go with either Marshall or Machamp. I personally prefer Machamp a bit more, but if you really wanted a, to spend tickets on a fighting type striker, I'd personally recommend Lucario instead, just because first of all, she's a 3-star. It's easier to spend, or I guess Lucario's a he. He's a 3-star, and it's easier to spend 3-star tickets. You get a lot of them in this game. Like, personally, my 3-star tickets, I got 95 of them. And I've already spent a lot, right? I think I got Hau up there. Actually, no, what? Was Hau a base 4-star? I can't even remember. It's been a while. Actually, I could just click, I guess. Yeah. There's that, and then some other 4-stars that Torchic already got to 4-star as well. I think I also got Arcanine up there as well, right? But also if you did boost Torchic up to 4-star, you could actually use 4-star tickets to keep on boosting Torchic, just because she's just that powerful, right? So you could do that as well. Some other 4-stars, Kingdra, extremely niche. Not that great, but if you like really want to do it for like EX Skyla or whatever, then I guess, not Skyla, EX Rosa, then I guess go for it. Although again, Lycanroc's just much better option there. What else? What other 4-stars? I think there are. I said Infernape, these guys. Again, a lot of these 3-stars that you boosted to 4-stars, you can keep on boosting. Oh, Nolan's another one. Nolan and Pincer, again, probably one of the best 4-stars in the game in a vacuum, because again, do remember this guy relies, I wouldn't say completely relies, but heavily relies on being able to Mega, which again, you have to go for sync moves, which again, in co-ops is really hard to accomplish. But in single player, it's much more easier. Mega Pincer, super strong, really good sync pair. Masquerade's actually not terrible as well. But then again, these are more lower on the priority list in terms of 4-stars. Nanu, let's not do that. Not that great. I guess you could do Roxy as well, but I just personally do Crobat instead. But that's just me. What else? Other 4-stars. Thornton has a few uses, I guess. But then again, it's just better to use it on some striker instead. Unfortunately. Toucannon's okay. It really depends if you really just need that flying type striker. And again, I talked about Machamp. Salamis, no, don't use it there. And that's I think that's all the 4-stars. Don't use it on Miltank. Aegislash is not terrible, but then again, not too many uses at the moment, unfortunately. So let's not do that either. And so those are, I guess, basically the 4-stars. Moving on to the 3-stars. 3-stars, we have a lot of really good options, actually. There's a lot of really great 3-star supports that you could use, and I guess you could use 3-star power-ups more liberally, just because you get them just so much easier than 4-star power-ups, right, in comparison. So starting off with probably at the top of the list, you got Torchic. Even though she's a support, she's just such a phenomenal, it's a he, I think, right? I don't remember. Is Torchic a he or a she? Come on. I know at least my trainer's a she. Oh, okay, Torchic. Sorry about that. Jeez. Torchic is incredible. One of the best supports in the game. So that would be one of the exceptions, right? In terms of, striker versus support. But also there's a lot of great strikers as well. Lucario, as I mentioned before, probably the best fighting type striker you could actually, spend tickets on at the moment, just because, again, you're super strong even before you Mega. Your close combat is just absolutely busted. And then, after you Mega, it's even more ridiculous, right? Norman's also a good one. Norman, just the sheer power, and also, the 100% accuracy on Double Edge with the incredible power as well. That's also a really good option, especially for farming a lot of those, training events, right? You could use him. Duong is another one that you could use on, right? If you're farming, if you're, just going for ultra hard strike, right, to get the level caps for your strike sync pairs, that's also a good option. Ramos, no, I'm kidding, don't do that. Crasher Wake, I guess, is not a terrible option if you don't have Chris and you really want to water striker. I guess he's probably one of the better ones in the game, although there's not that many in the game, unfortunately. Tyrande, if you really just need a rock type striker and you just don't have Olivia, unfortunately, I guess you could go for that as well. Bryson, not that useful. Tense Surge, not that useful. Swanna's another good support. right? A lot of people are using that. Arcanine, again, as I said before. These guys probably not, unfortunately. Roxanne's a really, really good one. I think I'm working on Roxanne at the moment, right? Am I? 4 out of 20. However, that counts as working on. Not working on it too much, but I started on her. So, yeah. Let's see, what else? Extras, if you, again, just want to use her for EX Rosa, even though that strat is very, very outdated. But I guess you could still do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's... Winona, no, I would say a no to Winona. Meditate's a really, really good support to use on as well. Torchic, Ariados, let's not do that as well. Let's not do Solar Rock. Since, again, like, you got Mewtwo for free, why are you even playing with Solar Rock? Right, Lunatone's a good one, though. Where's Lunatone? Yeah, Lunatone's a really, really good one for support, right? One of the better supports in the game. A lot of people like Beedrill. I'm personally not a huge fan of Mega Beedrill. I think it's kind of overrated, but it's not a terrible one either, I guess. So if you want to go for that, I'm not stopping you. But again, I guess that's basically it for the 3 stars, right? You got a few really, really good supports. Meditate, Lunatone, Torchic, that's an absolute top tier, right? Roxanne, Arcanine, these are really, really good support. Swanna. And then you also got really good strikers and stuff like Lucario, Norman, you know, these folks. So anyways, again, 3-star tickets, more, you could use them more liberally. Because again, you just come by them so often. As long as you're summoning. If you're saving, then you probably don't have as much. But once you start summoning on the banner that you want, you know, either it be Cynthia, Lance, Red, and Leaf, whatever, you know, you'll be getting a lot of these 3-star tickets, don't worry. So anyways, that's me for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If there's any other ones that you guys probably want, you know, that you want to recommend that I didn't really touch upon, I guess, or which ones that you guys, you know, use it on, or if you want help deciding which ones you want to go for, let me know in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. Subscribe to your channel for some more Pokemon Masters content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.